It's Friday, November 20th, 2009. We're here to listen to the wise words of Mike Cox. He's got a nice speech planned for us, and we got a nice group here. So, there's a group.
Hey, thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste your time, so I'll get right to it. It is essential that citizens hear and consider each other's thoughts on liberty. The first legal document ever established in this country, written by Thomas Jefferson and signed by 56 of the bravest men in our history, forefathers of this republic, the Declaration of Independence, delivered to humanity the most profound definition of an individual's rights ever expressed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Vital words which we forget at our own peril. Our forefathers believed in liberty unflinchingly. Up to and into the very face of death. If any of these men had been captured, they would have been executed by the crown. Man, it's loud out here. Today we imagine that the heroic deeds of men long dead have secured our liberty. We fancy that because we're U.S. citizens that we bathe in it every hour of every day. It's our birthright. It's unalienable. Look, it says so right there in the founding document. Unalienable. Liberty. 233 years ago, they risked their lives for it. They stood in the face of the current authority and said enough is enough. Liberty is defined as the sum of rights and exemptions possessed in common by the people of a community, state, or republic. That is collective rights that each and every one of us enjoys. If I have the right, or if you have the right, then everyone has the right. If I have a right to give a speech on the tank, then anyone can. And please feel free to do so. I'll come listen. The same principle applies to rights that we do not have. If I don't have it, you don't have it, and nobody has it. If I don't have the right to walk a friend home at night, then none of us do. Some policing may be necessary. Some certainly is not. I was born in Jackson County at the hospital in Seymour. My first home was in Medora. That was 1969, 40 years ago. My grandfather was Jake Earl Cockerham. He was a World War II veteran and a longtime Medora resident. He bought land on the Medora Knobs when he came back from the war, 200 acres. I managed to do a good part of my growing up in and around Medora and the people from it. I've often considered Medora my home. I've lived in it on occasion, and I live in it right now. My grandmother, Nona Cockerham, is 81. She wants me to stay with her. Therefore, I am. I've been in this town now for probably since the beginning of April. We'll say 7 months, give or take. In that time, I've worked at Hickory Hills Golf Club, and I've came home many an evening and parked my car and walked wherever I went through town. I have seen the Marshal or Assistant Marshal Brad Johnson on at least 200 occasions. To imagine that Brad has never seen me is pretty hard to do. However, he did stop me while walking on the road the other night by the ballpark. He didn't stop me to see what I was doing. He stopped me to ask me for my ID. Actually, he said he thought that the young woman I was walking with looked a little young. I still couldn't understand why he felt it necessary for me to show my ID. That is when he informed me that he could stop anyone, anywhere, at any time, and ask them for identification. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson are walking down the road. A policeman stops them to ask for their identification. We still live in America. The rights that we've been guaranteed are young indeed. This nation is young. This county is young and full of youthful exuberance. Look at the athletes that this county produces. No matter the sport, Jackson County teams are always among the best. It's because we've been bred with a toughness. People here still fight over the smallest amount of disrespect. They stand up for their honor and for things that they believe in. The problem is when it comes to government, no one knows who to stand up to. We're thoroughly sick of it, and rightfully so, but no one knows where to direct our complaints. We are bowled over and pushed aside continuously. It's easy to say, don't get arrested, but if you care to look out into the streets, you see a completely different situation emerging. I've already been arrested once this year. I've been keeping my head down since. Not that I have a quota, but once is enough, believe me. Being arrested is no fun. Sitting in jail is no fun. Owing your mom bond money is no fun. It's not something I want to deal with. But now I have no choice, and this is how it is. 233 years ago, men faced death to stand up and speak truth to power. Today I have to stand up to a few years in prison to do it. I would be destitute if I were to have to tell you all that our liberty isn't worth it to me. So I will give you this. I disagree with Brad Barker's assessment of this situation. I feel that any citizen, any human being who was in my position that night should have had a reasonable expectation at arriving at their destination unmolested. I feel, as I have always felt, that I am at liberty to walk the streets of Medora without fear of that liberty being taken away. I feel that there was not one possible ounce of goodwill towards the safety of Medora or any of Medora's citizenry in Mr. Barker's decision to impede my progress, my pursuit of happiness. I further feel that if any law enforcement officer is allowed to treat anyone in this manner that I was treated, then the America founded upon the Declaration of Independence and the core principles of the Constitution is no more. After the signing, Benjamin Franklin quipped, "It's a republic if you can keep it." Jefferson said that we would likely need a revolution every 10 years to keep the government honest. They all lamented from the moment of the signing of the Constitution that corporations were finding a way to usurp the government. We live in the aftermath of that being accomplished. However, there is something else that is true. All politics is local. Local politicians here have never had to face any organized resistance to violation of personal liberties. Today, one or another person tries on occasion and occasionally wins, but there is nothing sustained to demand that rights of others are not similarly violated. Today it's me, tomorrow it could be you or yours. I'm willing to go to battle for your rights, not because I'm some kind of hero and not because I'm irretrievably nuts, but because it's the right thing to do and I'm already in the crosshairs anyway. Use me as a shield to get your shots in on things that you feel strongly about. My trials are going to be going on for a while, and when they are done, there will be plenty of others. There is nothing but time to organize and really push for some justice in this county. There are plenty of issues to tackle here. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for coming out. And I'm not done. I will continue this crusade until they throw me in jail, and then I will continue it from jail. And when I get out of jail, I will keep continuing it until we get some justice in this county.
Woo!
We all know it's wrong. You know, I just need some people behind me. You know, get them, talk to them, tell them not to be afraid. Tell them, look at this guy, he's not afraid. He's going to go to jail for it, most likely. Big deal. Big deal. Have a good one, guys. I got to go to court.